Good evening, good morning if you are catching the replay, and welcome to our new moon webinar. I'm very excited. I feel like I start every single fucking webinar by saying I'm very excited about this. But when I've been in it and when I've been channeling it, when I know what I'm going to share, it's fucking exciting. Before I hit record just then, um, one of the beautiful women was like, "Oh yes, like I've been so excited. I've been reading about all of the energies. I've been really excited for the webinar." And this is a reminder that for those of you catching the recording or the replay, this is a reminder that we don't ever need to be kind of scared or apprehensive or on the fence when we're reading about the energy. We actually get to use it to support ourselves. There was a really old kind of programming in the collective up until a couple of years ago. It was really thick, and it was like, oh my god, it's a full moon, like everyone blaming everything on the full moon. And I feel shit because of this, and I feel heavy, and I feel overwhelmed, and I feel angry. And one of the most powerful things about the Moons in Our membership, and one of the really big motivating factors in creating this membership, was teaching and reminding women that we get to use the energy that is around us to support our own healing and personal growth. Right? Everything is there for us. And if we don't understand it and we're not leaning into it, we don't have that guidance or that understanding of it or even the comprehension of it, then it can feel overwhelming. And it can feel like things are just happening to us, not for us. But when you fucking sit down and you're like, okay, well, give it to me. What have I got to work with? And how can I pivot? How can I shift? How can I use it? How can I suck it in and use it? That's when you get your most powerful self, right? And we've got these big, beautiful reset points, or these big, beautiful pivot points every month. And that is our new moon and our full moon. And they're the times where, the energies are the most potent, right? We have our waxing moon, and that's between a new moon and a full moon, and it waxes and waxes and waxes. And then from the full moon, it wanes and it starts getting smaller. And of course, we have the ability to shift, change, pivot whenever the fuck we want. It doesn't have to be a full moon to release. It doesn't have to be a new moon to manifest. But these two checkpoints in the lunar cycle, in our cycles as women, because we are intrinsically linked to the fucking moons, these two pivot checkpoints are our most potent time to be doing the work. This is where we can be like, fucking give it to me. So I'm really, really excited to support you all again. We've got a couple of new people that have joined, so they might join us on the live or we'll catch the replay. For that reason, I'm going to give a little quick reminder of just kind of the general new moon energy. So we know that a new moon is the start of a new cycle. It is new beginnings. It is a really powerful time for manifesting. It's a really good time of the month to look at your goals, to reflect on what has worked and what hasn't worked, to project forward. Our new moon is really rich in creative energy. It is a time where we're really being called to look at who we're being, to look at how we're being, to decide what we actually want, and also to look at what we can do to make that happen, right? It is a really, really potent time for us to fucking get back in the driver's seat of our lives. So we have that as the standard new moon energy, right? It is like new beginnings, fresh start. Sonia, welcome. Really nice to have you here. I was just giving a little rundown on new moon energy. You're welcome to stay with your video off for the call. I have already started the recording, so if you
Oh,
do,
good. That's fine.
that's okay. If you do choose to pop your video on, you will only ever be on the recording if you unmute yourself. Um,
Sure.
Otherwise, I'll mute you in a moment. And if you would like to share or you have a question throughout the webinar, you can just use the little chat function at the bottom of the screen, or you can use the kind of there's like a raise hand function that you can use if you're wanting to share something, and then I'll come to you. So you haven't
Sure.
missed much. I just had a quick hello, and I was just reminding, a lot of the women in this tonight's live have been in this space for 3 and a bit years, but there are some newer faces as well. So I was just doing a quick rundown on the standard kind of new moon energy being all about creation and new beginnings and fresh start and manifesting and looking at our intentions. So I'll continue on, Sonia. Really nice to have you with us. So that's our kind of standard new moon, right? That's like the basics of a new moon or the foundation of a new moon. And then each month it is influenced by different planets, right? So there's planetary stuff going on that gives us the vibe or the theme or the energy in which we can work from. So right now we are having a beautiful Aries new moon, and I say that with that energy because it is fucking beautiful when you know how to work with it, right? It's fiery. Aries is fire energy, but when you know how to work with it, it's a dance, and it is a okay, cool. My guides are just doing a cha-cha. They're like, it's the cha-cha because it's fast and it's vibrant and it's exciting and it's fiery and it's high energy. So it's actually really cool energy for us to work with this evening. Before we jump into the energies that we have to harness and use, a couple of things. So news I will share. I have got my Sacred Rage webinar. So a little bit of a teachable moment. Some of you know this. Lan and I caught up, so she knows this. But my Sacred Rage workshop was going to be on my sister's birthday, 11th of April. And a few days before, I heard you're going to need to move the date. And when I say I heard, my guides told me you're going to need to move the date because you're going to have the children back early. And obviously I booked it or planned it for when Luke had the kids. And it was pretty loud. It was very, very loud at this point. There was no plan for the kids to come back early, but it was so strong in my body. And I think, when did I see you, Lan? Tuesday night or Monday night? And I was like, I'm going to need to change it. And then the very next day, Penny rang me, and that's where I'm having it. And she was like, oh my God, Amanda, we have had to like rip up all the plumbing in the backyard. Like, it's an absolute fucking mess. Like, can we change the date? Like, what are we going to do? And I was like, babe, do not even worry. I was already thinking that. I feel like I'm going to get the kids back early. And so I changed the date based on both things, but really the thing in the forefront was that the venue was no longer available, right? She had like major plumbing stuff. She was trying, like running around, her and Annie running around trying to get it all fixed in time. And given the long weekend, they couldn't. And then come the Thursday, my ex-husband's dad actually had a heart attack. He's okay. He's in hospital. He's had surgery and whatnot. But I did get the kids back early. And so it is that kind of beautiful validation from spirit, always guiding me, always supporting me, and my unwavering trust in them, right? There was absolutely no fucking sign that they'd be coming back early, but I knew. I was told, I heard, and I felt, and then it ended up being a double reason anyway. So I have moved it to the 2nd of May. When I looked at the date to move it to, the deciding factor was the moons, actually. I was like, well, when's the fucking full moon going to be? I may as well like see if I can coincide it. So it's now going to be Saturday the 2nd of May, in-person event in Young, and it will be in the evening. So I wanted to have that moody energy of that evening feel. We'll be able to see the fucking moon rising, and it's the full moon energy as well. So really, really excited. For those of you that weren't able to come to the original date, this one may work for you. Please reach out if you'd like to join. And for those of you new, Sonia, I know you're new to our tribe, Melita. Everything that I do, you get 10% off. Okay, everything except one-on-one sessions. So my retreats, my events, it's all 10% off for being a Moons and I member. And for those of you that have been in the tribe for some time, you'll know if you come to my retreats, that basically pays for your membership for the year. Like you get 10% off the entire retreat as well. So I think it's 222 for the day, but you're 10% off as well. So reach out if you would like to join. I would love to have you all there in that space. I have spoken a bit about it on my stories. I've spoken a bit about it over the last couple of months. It was kind of birthed, this webinar, this workshop, or this day retreat, live with you guys, when speaking about the rage that women are fucking feeling, when speaking about this energy where women are just like, it's not fucking fair, where we've been speaking about the suppression, the repression, and the lies that women were sold over generations to kind of do more and to ignore themselves and ignore their intuition and ignore what their hearts are telling them and to just put up with it and to be the nice girl and to zip it and to just carry on, right? And there's a real shift happening in the collective. And I'll speak briefly about this now because I had a conversation with a friend today about it, where there's a global awakening happening. And awakenings are not rainbows and lollipops. Awakenings are often raw, messy, intense. Awakenings amplify everything that already had existed within you, but that had been suppressed or repressed. And at the moment, I have had an influx of women coming to me, experiencing panic attacks for the first time in their lives, experiencing feelings of anxiety, feeling dissociated, feeling dissociation, feeling like out of place or unanchored, and all of this is happening not just to one person. I'm talking like the amount of messages I'm getting with these similar symptoms across women is mind-boggling, to the point of me going, this is a collective thing. This is happening to the collective. It is happening where women are fucking like waking up at such rapid speed that those of us that have the ability to feel deeply are actually experiencing it really fucking deeply. It's happening to the masculine as well. So Kara's saying that makes me feel validated. Yeah. I actually just went through, and I'm not going to speak about it. Oh, I nearly knocked my screen over. I won't speak about it tonight, but I just went through probably the biggest awakening that I've had since my mum passed away, actually. And it's big stuff going on in the collective. So it's happening for men as well. Men are unraveling at rapid speed. Right, men are being called to connect into their hearts, and that's really hard for generations of men who've been told to fucking tough it out, right? And so it's not just happening to the feminine, it's happening to the masculine as well. It's happening to both that feminine and masculine part within each of us, right? The awakenings theme, and I haven't heard this before, I'm just being told this now, just writing it down. The awakenings theme is truth. Right. And so it's living truth, speaking truth, being in truth, being truthful for how you're feeling, owning your truth. There's so much happening, on a global scale. And every single one of us are feeling it. We are all energy. We are all intrinsically connected. We are all sharing the same earth. And so we are all feeling it. And whether you are consciously aware of it or not, it is happening. And so this is the time to really lean into doing the work. This is the time to lean into your personal development and your healing. And this is the time for you to fucking let it out, to really let it out. There's no more powerful time for me to be doing a Sacred Rage workshop. And I stumbled across, I was looking for something to show a client the other day, and I stumbled across the retreat that I'd done down the coast, the one that you came to, Kara, that was fucking shadowy as. That was when I left my husband after that retreat. Like, that retreat, it was the 2024 one, and it was fucking wild. And I stumbled across that, the reel that I'd made where we were all screaming in the bush. And I was like, oh, I've led women in this before. Like, I just kind of hadn't connected the dots in terms of what I'm creating for this one coming up. And I watched it and I was like, fuck yes, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to support women in getting their voices back. I cannot wait to support women in fucking screaming it out, stomping it out, and actually just letting it out. So big shifts, big times are going on. And, if you're not in the area, rage it out, man. Like, connect with your Sacred Rage. I might do an online offering, but this in-person offering is, big and beautiful and designed to really support you in letting it out. Curbs is saying my medical episode didn't have a diagnosis as yet. It was trippy as fuck. I really want to hear about that, Curbs. Can you share that at the end? Can I come to you at the end? Yeah, I really want to hear about that. Lan is saying, yes, feeling this truth, being vocal and standing in my truth. Yeah. So I've actually also just gotten sick for the first time in over 5 years. So the last time I was sick was COVID. I don't get sick. I just don't. I just very, very rarely get sick. And I actually got like strep throat. So I got this strep throat. It didn't end up being this big thing, but it could have. It could have. And so I got that, and then it went into my sinuses, and then it went into my chest, and it's this whole fucking thing. No one else is sick. Like, my kids haven't called. I sleep with down every night, but it's all around this. It's all around the throat, right? It's I had ulcers on my tongue. I got a cold sore for the first time in like probably 10 years. And so it was like, bang, 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 bang. And that is all linked to speaking up. And I was like, okay, I mean, I'm a very vocal person. I speak my truth and I actively do the work. But it's also the fact of holding space for women and for the collective, right? And this is what is happening. And I actually caught a thing from Rebecca Campbell the other day, and she was saying how, the way in which we guide is changing. And she spoke about this. She spoke about us feeling things first, for others. And I was like, oh, that's so fucking interesting because, Irene, 3-day migraine and vomited all day Sunday. So interesting. And you've had a bit of a cycle of that, Irene. I think over this last couple of months, you've had a real physical manifestation of like the earth's shit because it hasn't been yours a lot of the time, right? And I think it's interesting, Irene, that this has coincided with this realization or connection to your purpose in working with women, right? So I feel like we need to shift a bit of that because we definitely don't want to be making a habit of always purging or feeling slightly over it. Yeah. I actually thought of you when I got sick because I was like, I said to my friend at one point, it's a bit of a novelty actually. Like I actually forgot what it felt like to be sick. And he was like, you mean you want to be sick? And I was like, well, no, but like I just forgot. Like I forgot what it felt like to have a blocked nose. I forgot body aches and stuff. Like I just haven't been sick in so long. And I was like, oh, I'm so grateful that I'm so fucking healthy all the time. But yeah, feeling it definitely for the collective as well. So I actually done some work today on it again. So I've already like lent in obviously as soon as it come up. And I was kind of just like bang, bang straight in there. But I heard like chill, just let it pass, let it be. And on the morning that I'd done the most work in terms of the throat, chest, sinus situation, I actually got introduced to a new guide. So I sat down and I called in my guides and then I seen them and there was 4 and they were in these beautiful columns and usually there's just 3 of them there, but they were neatly in these columns and I heard them say, you'll now be channeling from the 7th dimension. I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, and I had a bit of a giggle, but the colors were so beautiful. This blue sapphire, like aisles or hallways all joined together with geometric shapes underneath, just beautiful. And so I Googled afterwards and it's fucking insanely cool stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. I knew I was obviously moving through an awakening and a big collapse and then having the physical stuff as well. So big stuff going on globally, big stuff going on for women. If you have been experiencing surges in energy, and remember, everything's energy. So if it's manifesting or coming through to you in a way that is expressed as anxiety or feelings of anxiety, or panic or illness or dis-ease, lean in. Lean in because every single thing we experience has something to offer us, all of it. I actually spoke about in my notes I had written today about anxiety because this fiery Aries energy is big. It's big and it's a lot of motion. And I was reminded to remind you guys that anxiety is just a whole heap of fucking energy with nowhere to go. So if you have been experiencing feelings of anxiety or panic, then the medicine for that is movement. The medicine for that is action. The medicine for that is to fucking get up and to let that energy be released. Give it a release, right? And on the contrary, if you are having feelings of illness or dis-ease or lack of ease in the body, then the medicine is often rest. Right? I know when I got sick with everything I've already shared, I had horse riding planned, I had visits planned, snorkeling, all sorts of stuff because, oh my God, I haven't had a week of no children I've only ever had it once actually when I went to America. And so I was like planning all this stuff and I'd done nothing. I snorkeled, on one day before I got sick, but I cancelled the horse, I cancelled everything because what was needed was stop, silence, rest, being. And so if you're having these experiences where your body's showing you in illness or lack of ease, then that medicine is generally to slow down and to stop and to let your body catch up with the fucking wild amount of energy that's moving through it, right? Let yourself slow down because the pace in which we are all awakening now is so fucking fast and the frequencies that are running through us are so high that often there's this kind of like I'm seeing it, I'm trying to get the words, but this kind of transitionary kind of state, right? Moving through it, that is having that difference in a frequency, right? So if your body is going to be vibrating at a new frequency, if you are awakening as we all are going through this global fucking awakening to new levels of consciousness, You must know that anything that is vibrating at a lower frequency is going to be purged. It's going to fucking come up and be purged, right? So that you can then be aligned with that higher frequency. Um, oh, Jack, I'm off that weekend, but it's my son's 21st. Oh, is it? But like, how beautiful. 21. Holy shit. How exciting. Oh, happy birthday to him. Wild, Jack. Wild. So we'll dive into this specific energy that we've got to work with. I've mentioned it a few times already. We are under the Aries influence. Do we? Okay, yeah, we're going to have a little breath together. We're going to just like take a few nice little breaths. Kind of a bit of a lots of surgy stuff coming through so far. So we're going to just stop and anchor in before receiving any more remembrance. So I invite you all to take a nice, slow, and deep breath in and exhale. And again, a nice, slow, deep breath in and exhale. Just gently closing down your eyes if you feel called to do so. Focusing on your breathing, nice, slow, deep breaths. And dropping your shoulders, relaxing your jaw, and allowing your tongue to relax gently in your mouth. That's right. Wherever you are right now, wherever your mind is wandering, just gently dropping back into your body, arriving right here in this very present moment. There's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to be doing. This is your time, your space, for you. Just placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your womb, on your lower stomach. And just breathing in here. That's right. Nice, big, slow breaths. And exhaling. Allowing any thoughts that may enter your mind to simply pass you by, like clouds in the sky. No need to attach to them at all, just allowing them to come and go as you bring your awareness back to the sound of my voice. Letting everything now from your day, from your week, from your life, just letting it go, just beginning to soften. That's right. You don't need to carry anything right now. This space is for you. Time to come back to yourself, to your truth, to receive. Beautiful. You may like to set your intention for this evening's webinar. It can be anything at all. You can say it in your mind or out loud. And I'll set the intention for the group as well, for you all to receive all that you need for your best and highest good, and to receive it with clarity. Calling in Archangel Michael now and asking that he surrounds each and every one of you in his beautiful light of protection throughout this webinar and beyond. Beautiful. And taking a nice, slow, and deep breath in. And as you exhale, Exhale, opening your eyes. Beautiful. Just allowing yourself to be here now. And now that you're in that nice, relaxed state, you may like to remain nice and relaxed as you receive remembrance and you receive the energies that we're under. Tonight feels more like an activation than an informative webinar. When I was writing what I wanted to share with you, it really came across in such a forceful way that it felt activating. Like I was activated writing it. I was hearing and feeling this energy that is so fucking big that I almost wanted to just like jump out of my skin. We are under some really wild energies. So we have entered Q2, so quarter two of 2026. We know that we are in the year of the fire horse. So you're going to feel that. And what I'm hearing now is that fire horse energy has been a bit ebby and flowy, right? So you'll feel moments of like surge, like the highest vibrational energy, the most wide. I've got my dog here, who Luke actually has now. He's crying at the door. He's okay. Lucas out there, but he just wants mommy. It's coming across in really big surges. Like I know I've felt it throughout this year when I reflect on the year that has been in the first few months. It's very much been like wavy as fuck, right? Like big surges of like motivation and energy and like, yes, I'm fucking doing it. And I'm doing it all. And I'm like on top of the world. And then there's this kind of it's like simmering, right? And then the horse is kind of coming in strong and carrying us. So right now the surge is big. Right now with this new moon, the fire horse energy is leading. And it is big. It is like I would say almost requires a bit of containment. And my goal is that you will receive enough information this evening that you'll be able to kind of contain and use that energy, harness that energy for your own growth and for your own creation, right? We are in a pretty big checkpoint. Like we've got, this is the first new moon of the new astrological year. It is the first new moon of Q2 and it is in Aries. And Aries is like the first sign of the zodiac. Aries is like the doer and the fire and the energy and the motivator, right? And so we have this like really big energy of choice. And it's almost like the universe is like, well, all right, well, what do you want? Like, what do you fucking want? Because all of this energy is behind you, and all you need to do is to fucking write that. Just write it. Like, write what you want, write your chapter, and then, like, ride this energy. Ride this energy into creation. This is a really fertile time. And by fertile, I mean we are all being, like, empowered to create, literally. So you might be drawn to like painting, drawing, music, movement, like creative arts, but also to create new chapters, new standards is a big one. Like to like look at what you accept and expect, to be looking at your standards, to be looking at your goals, right? To look at who and how you're being. I was doing my own work today on this new moon, and I kind of was just writing, and something that I had written and I'm going to share is it was just sort of a reminder to myself was that like you get to change whenever the fuck you want. And it seems so simple, like it's something I've taught for years. But when I was writing down my goals and what I was choosing to focus in on, hone in on over this new moon, that's what I'd written underneath it. And it was like so simple, but such a fucking powerful reminder, right? Doesn't fucking matter how long you've been traveling on a certain train. You can get the fuck off whenever you want. Doesn't matter how long you've been coloring your hair pink. You can change it to fucking green. It doesn't matter how long you've been, you know, having certain habits, behaviors, the way that you process, the way that you deal with things, the way that you react or respond. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing things a certain way. We literally are designed to pivot, to evolve as humans. That is what we are designed to do. You can shift, change at any given moment. So I want you to be really mindful of what's coming into your awareness that is kind of that you're like, oh, I don't really like how I do this, or I don't really like what that is anymore. I feel like I've changed based on compared to what I used to be, because that is a sign that your soul's saying, okay, this is the area for change. This is where you need to pivot. This is what gets to shift now with this new moon. Lan, yes, you literally said this to me yesterday to hit me as a reality check. This is totally okay. Yeah, Lan and I had a conversation about some things. And, I had said to her, like, I used to be very fucking firm about XYZ. And I mean, like, firm. That was my standard. That was what I expect and accept. But then something shifted in me, and I went, hold on, that's not right now. Like, I've evolved past that. I feel different now, and that's okay. We get to change our minds, we're meant to, and we get to evolve. So what I want to remind everybody when we're doing this work this evening, particularly I'm going to ask you quite a few questions to inquire with yourself. If something comes up like, and I want to give you like a real basic example to let it land. But if it's like, for instance, you're being shown that you don't want to use a dishwasher anymore, but you've used one for 20 years, that's fucking okay. You can start washing them manually if you want, or vice versa, right? It doesn't matter how long you've been doing something a certain way, you get to fucking shift. And if it's coming into your awareness and you're aware of it, and you're like, oh, I don't like that aspect of yourself, that behavior, that pattern, that habit, then it means it's time to shift it. It means it's time to shift it. And now is that time, right? Relationships, jobs, behaviors, patterns, habits, who you are, how you are, right? And I love identity work. It's so fucking powerful. And I've often said, like, who you are is a choice. And I firmly believe that. Like, who we are is just made up of the habits of everything that we repeat, things that we do on repetition, right? We can change that. So if you don't love who you fucking are, if you don't love the version of you that you're showing up as, then change it. Evolve. Shift. Even if you're experiencing some challenging times, if you're experiencing feelings of anxiety and it's feeling like a little bit out of control, and you're like, I don't like this version of me, I don't like that I'm feeling scared, or I don't like that I'm feeling panicked. Okay, so then you declare it, right? You share it to declare it. You fucking write it down. You're like, this is something I'm not choosing to be or create. What do I need to be doing to shift out of this? And then you create an action plan out, right? So once you decide that that's not who and how you want to be, you then look at an action plan to support you in shifting that. And for those feelings of anxiety, it could be, okay, well, what am I scared of? What's happening in the future? What underlying energy have I got? What feels unsafe in my world right now? Is this even my energy? It could be eating, sleeping, really leaning in to action steps to move yourself out of that. I know people that have had feelings of anxiety for months and years, and then people who can have it for days and it passes. And I've been that person, like both. Like when I was taking drugs and after my sister died, it was months and months of panic and anxiety and health anxiety and all the fucking things. And I just had like recently, and I shared in my story, it's like the biggest fucking like waves of feelings of anxiety and panic, and it was gone in hours because I was able to lean in. Like, lean in. I'm like, no, I'm not available for this. Like, what do I need to learn from it? Why is it here? What is it going to teach me? But I'm not actually going to stay looping in suffering, right? We get to shift. Whatever we do not fucking love in our lives, we have the power to shift and change. So this energy that we are under is not gentle. It is fucking big. It is here to move us. It is here to create fucking waves and ripples, right? It is this new moon is going to, or has the capacity to actually create ripples that will go for months, right? Changes that completely shifts the trajectory, right? This is kind of the initiation point, the new beginning. We know a new moon is a new beginning. We know that Aries is that first sign of the zodiac as well. And we are now in our true energetic new year. So this is all choice, 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 choice. Like, what are we choosing? And what we choose right now sets the tone for the quarter ahead, right? Aries is bold, is ambitious. Aries, in her highest vibration, is a leader, right? Is a leader. She is the fucking main character. She is like, fuck, yes, I've got this. I'm leading the show. I've got the fire in me, passion in me to fucking make it happen. Aries also is a risk taker, which is why it's the most potent fucking energy to create change, because it feels risky when you create change, right? Particularly to the egoic mind. The egoic mind wants you to stay the same, right? So it feels scary and risky. But alas, Aries energy is like, fucking do it, leap, jump, let's go. Aries doesn't wait, right? It doesn't sit around thinking. Aries moves, leads, creates, goes first. This is like courage energy. This is this like, okay, I trust myself to take the fucking first step, right? And like fire in your soul. I want you to just for a moment feel that, because it's in all of us. We are all deeply linked to this moon and this energy. And it's okay. It might currently be expressing itself in feelings of uncertainty or in feelings of wobbliness. Okay. And that's okay. That's just displaced energy, right? So we can shift that. But just for a moment, feeling into this like wild, bold energy that is Aries. Where have you, what have you been thinking about over this last 36 to 48 hours? What has been consuming your mind, your body? Been thinking about work, relationships, your health? Because there are clues, right? Your soul is always guiding you to the next version of you. So, what has been in your arena is the word I'm hearing. What's been in your personal arena is actually what's coming up for you to shift, to assess, to get the fire, right? Underneath like the responsibilities, the hats, the balls, you're juggling all the shit. Like, you are a risk taker. You are somebody who can create change. Like, you in your highest vibration know how to fucking get what you want, right? Everybody in here who has that frequency, you wouldn't be in here. Like, most of you are in the personal development or healing industry or world. A lot of you have done a lot of fucking work. So this is like about like that remembering who the fuck you already are and connecting with that fire, right? So you've got the fire of the Aries and then the fire of the fire horse. So that's fire on fire. Fire on fire. And so this is like an intensified fucking acceleration, right? This is momentum. So whatever you are focusing on now is going to fucking be amplified. Whatever you're choosing right now, whatever you decide and declare for yourself doesn't just fucking sit there. This moves and amplifies and grows really quickly. Yeah, like wildfire is what I'm hearing. And I felt that before when I was sharing. It was like they were showing me like this real lack of containment. And, I speak about contained energy and making sure you're focusing your energy on something. But what this feels like, the wildfire feels like it's more like within us, right? Like nothing is going to be left. It's not just a little flame. It's like fucking everywhere. And we get to have it everywhere to clear out. We get to have it everywhere to shift, to pivot, to move. Right? So you may be feeling restlessness or frustration, irritation, anxiety, feelings of anxiety, the feeling in your body like something needs to happen. Right? And again, I want to reframe that. Like, this is not a fucking problem. This is power, right? That energy, that feelings of anxiety is just energy without direction. So instead of like trying to subdue it and suppress or repress it, give it somewhere to fucking go. give it somewhere to go. It can literally be as simple as, who am I being? How am I being? Like, what am I creating? Like, that's the level of simplicity you get to work with, right? And then this energy is like got channels, right? We don't want to suppress fire, right? We want to channel it, move your body, speak, create, take action. Because if you don't fucking move this level of energy, that's when it turns inward. And that's when it becomes that overwhelm, a shutdown, the disconnect or dissociate or the escape, right? This moon, this new moon, which feels like a fucking very new moon, it's here for self-discovery. It's here for like the global awakening is what I'm hearing. It is here to support us. And we know that every time we lean in and do the work, we are doing the work for the women who come before us and after us. Every single time you, as a woman, sharing this earth with millions of people, every time you do the work, it creates ripples. When your frequency changes, the frequency on earth changes. And this new moon is identity. It is like upgrades. It is self-discovery and leadership. And it's not even that we have to kind of like be up here about it. It's more connecting with it, connecting with the energy, and stepping into that version of you who fucking chooses. And that can feel edgy if you've been feeling wobbly. So let the energy support you. We're going to do some journaling. So I started like writing out a few prompts for us. And then I kind of just was on a bit of a roll. And I did question, I said to my guides, like, is this too many? Because obviously we usually do, 3 to 5 journaling prompts. And they were adamant. They're like, no, this, like, because I just was writing and writing and writing and writing. And I was like, okay, all right, so we're going to do it. So I'll share what needs to be shared as I go through. But there's a few here, and I just invite you to lean in. Some things you might not want to write, you might just be really pondering on. You might just take a moment to ponder on that and to inquire with yourself on that. And that is what we're here to do, is to just be curious. Be curious about what comes up. Be curious about what maybe triggers in us when we think of it or when we hear the prompt. Okay. So you can get your journal out, and if you would prefer to write, you can. For those of you new to the tribe, generally what happens is I will state the prompt and then you would just write whatever comes to your mind. You don't have to write the prompt itself. You can just write whatever comes into your mind afterwards. If you would like me to repeat it, please just use the chat function to request that, and I will. Let's just maybe breathe into the heart space for a moment. So I'm just hearing the word truth, truth, truth again. So just hands on heart and breathing into the center of your chest, and knowing that it is safe for you to see truth, it is safe for you to feel truth, and it is safe for you to speak truth. And so as we move through this self-inquiry practice, allowing yourself to feel and see and speak your truth, no matter how wild it may seem, just allowing it to come up and out and trusting in the process, fully trusting in the process. So the first inquiry, just staying in curiosity and compassion with yourself throughout this practice. The first one is, who am I being right now? Who am I being right now? I'm just leaning in and being curious about that. Just maybe taking a bird's eye view of who and how you've been. And if you're clogging aspects that you don't like, just being kind to yourself, knowing that curiosity and compassion are the pathway to change. Blame and shame, you stay the same. Who am I being right now? Here now, be here now, be here now, be. And just to link to that, how am I showing up in my life? How am I showing up in my life? And is this actually aligned with the woman I say I want to be? Is this, is who I'm showing up as actually aligned with the woman I say I want to be? Let's lean into some constructive truth. Where have I been holding myself back? And what fear is underneath that, or belief? What fear or belief is underneath that that's no longer true? Just a reminder that inside you is everything, all the inside. Where have I been holding myself back? And what fear or belief have I been holding on to that is no longer true? And it could be more than one. It could come in clues. I'm going to lean into more truth now. I'm going to give one more minute on this. I can see people are still moving through this. Again, leaning into truth here. Yeah, Curbs, I can repeat that. Yeah. Where have I been holding myself back? What fear is underneath that? Or belief that is no longer true? Now, next one now. If I stopped abandoning myself, what would I choose? This is a big one. There's this collective energy of women just abandoning themselves. If I stopped abandoning myself, what would I choose? And just taking a moment to ponder on shit that's just been fucked. Like, just really pondering on aspects of self or life where you've noticed that maybe you're putting up with shit, or you're just dealing with it, or you're just abandoning parts of yourself to keep peace, to make it easier, to avoid conflict. And having said that, next one is, and I'm going to give this to you in an affirmative way. I am no longer available for. I am no longer available for. Trusting whatever comes to mind here. I am no longer available for. Someone who's like mediocre connections. I feel like that is someone's making a bit of a statement there. Good. And the standard I am setting for myself now is, remembering a standard is what you accept and expect. The standard I am setting for my life now is. I only accept ... I expect. Your declarations are so powerful. When you are inquiring with yourself and you are listening to what is coming up for you and then writing it down, you are declaring this. This is the first step to creation. This is you going fucking no more. It's the very first step. This is the conception, right, of change. So let's move into creation. You may like to start a new page because it is a different energy to what you've been inquiring about so far. But let's now move into creation. Let's now use this fucking fire to project forward. Let's remember that we are all creating our lives in everything we choose, and take this opportunity to lean into what we're fucking choosing for ourselves, right? We are not inanimate fucking players in this game of life. We actually all have choice. We all get to choose. We get to decide who we're being, how we're being, what we're fucking doing, who we talk to, who we don't talk to, what we engage in, what we consume, what we do for work. We all are the ones choosing this. We are all the authors of our fucking lives and the main characters. And so taking this opportunity right now to lean into that remembrance, even if you have felt like things have been challenging for you, even if you felt like things have been out of control or that things haven't been going your way, taking this moment to reclaim your ability to create. Mako, I love your passion, doll, but just not now. Okay, it's not now. So our next one, and you can even like title your page creation. So I really want everyone shifting into this like incredibly fertile energy that we have around us of creation. And just for a moment, I want you to just drop into the wonderment of this fucking life journey. It's not like some people are lucky and some people aren't. It's this. It's fucking choosing. It's being aware. It's having the fucking audacity to actually choose wild, fucking cool, awesome shit for your life and then the courage to fucking create it, right? It's allowing yourself to just fucking have the penny drop that you are creating and to start doing it intentionally. So in Q2, so quarter two, I am choosing to create. And maybe I think everybody should write that prompt, right? In Q2, I am choosing to create. I'll take this opportunity to remind you all that imagination is the very first fucking step to creation. Drop into your imagination here. If you could create anything in this quarter of 2026, what would it be? What would you create? The universe has no limits. The universe doesn't say, oh, you can only create in one aspect of your life. Just focus on work or just focus on the kids. No, whatever the fuck you want. This is big energy. This is Aries energy. This is bold energy. What are you going to create? What are you choosing to create? What's important to you in this chapter, in this season? And to add to that, just in case we need to kind of move through any limiting beliefs preventing you from fully having the grand, awareness of what is possible for you. If I fully trusted myself, I would go all in on. If I fully trusted myself, I would go all in on what? Let yourself be curious. Settling or having just enough is not a fucking vibe. It's 2026. We get to choose. Like if you could fully fucking have anything, what would you be having? What would you be creating or changing? And probably another one that I'll add here is what is calling to be birthed, initiated, created through you? Look over what you've written. We've entered quarter two of 2026. I want you to just imagine you're scanning over the next 3 months. Now look at what you've written. Is any of that settling? Does it feel edgy? Does it feel a little bit scary? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel edgy? Like it feels just a little bit out of reach? Because it fucking should. It should. Your goals, what you are creating, what you are desiring, should feel edgy. They should stretch you. Because these goals are what that's calling yourself forward, right? You are being called forward from the version of you that you currently are. So that should feel a little bit edgy. This is the momentum of your growth, of your evolution. And it is these goals, it is these intentions that actually pull you from the current version of self into the version of you who can fucking create that, right? Because if you already were her, you'd already have all this stuff. Yeah? You'd have already created it. So let it be edgy. Let it call you forward. Let your goals call you forward. And take this moment to add anything else in there. If this were your last year on earth and you're moving at Q2, the second quarter, what does Q2 look like? What does it feel like? What are you choosing for you? And now let's change gears into action, right? Aries responds to movement. We want to have our intention and then we want to have the action. And that is what fucking has like the explosion of creation, right? So, what are the actual steps? Not the big fucking vision, the real steps. Look at your page. Look at what you've written for Q2. Choose one action, one thing that you can do in this next 24 hours, because that is where the shift locks in. Look at what you're creating. What can you do in the next 24 hours to give momentum to what you have on that page? And write that down. Lean into it. What is between you and that? What's the bridge? What would bold action look like here? You might be on a roll, you might have a list of action steps, but I want you to, at the very least, have one action step that you can take in the next 24 hours. And I want you to see that as your link. I want you to see that as the very thing that gives momentum to everything on that page. Just one action step and start with that. And I'll give one more minute here. I just want to remind you all that sometimes we're going to do shit we don't want to do to become what we want to become. Sometimes we're going to do shit that feels a little bit like a contraction to be able to get to that place of expansion, right? And let me remind you that it's fucking worth it. That it's worth it. We get to work towards creating what we fucking want or stay in a space of working to deal with what we don't fucking want. Both of them are going to require your energy. Both of them are going to feel a bit edgy. One gives you the life you fucking desire and deserve, and one has you in a space that you don't. Life is going to require you to work. So choose to do the work on creating the life you fucking deserve and want and can have. instead of working real fucking hard to deal with the fucking life you don't want, right? So when you look at your action steps and you feel a bit of contraction and you feel like, oh, fuck, I don't know if I want to do that, just remember you're fucking working for what you want, right? Remember your why. So we're just going to do a gentle visualization. We're not going to go too deep. We're not going to go too crazy. We're not going to go into hypnosis this evening. We're just going to do a really soft visualization. And so, what I'd like everybody to do is to just put your hand over the page you've just written, the page that has what you're choosing to create, and perhaps the same page has your action steps on it. But just placing your hand over that gently, just gently closing down your eyes. Just imagining your breath going into the center of your chest now as you breathe in. And then just seeing that breath come out your hand and connect to that page on the exhale. That's right. We're going to repeat this a few times. We're going to breathe into the center of the chest and then allow that energy to move down your arm and out your hand, connecting to that page. And one more time, breathing into the center of your chest. Allowing all of that life force energy, that Shakti to move down your arm, out your head, and connecting onto the page. That's right. Owning it, claiming it. Just dropping down your shoulders now and surrendering into softness as you allow yourself to feel into this reality. You might see, sense, hear, feel. Just allowing yourself to cast forward for a moment into the version of you who already is it, already has it. Noticing how you move, what you choose, and just closing and bridging that gap between the version of you right now and the version of you who already is and has what is on that page. Feeling your energy from your hand completely encapsulating that page so that there is no distance between you and your goals. And allowing them all to move into your body, into your cells, and settle into you, into your being, into your awareness as you set the intention right now that you choose to create the life you deserve, that you choose to work for the life you desire. That you choose to show up. And just declaring in your mind or out loud, I lead my life. I trust myself. I deserve this. And I create it. Feel it land in your body. We're going to take another breath in, but this time the breath's going to come from the paper. That's right. You're going to breathe it all in, everything you've written down, all of that energy, all of that intention, all of that magic. You're going to breathe it in. It's going to come into your hand, into the palm of your hand, up your arm, and drop into your heart space. Breathing in. And exhale, releasing any limiting beliefs, any fears, anything stopping or blocking you from creating this version of yourself in your life. And again, breathing in the magic, the intention, breathing it into your body, receiving it in every single cell of your being. As you remember your power, you remember who you are, you remember that you get to create. And exhaling any limiting beliefs. And this time, I want you to move your body. So breathing in, and as you breathe in, just allowing yourself to feel the energy running through you. You might feel like dancing, shaking, tapping. You might be rocking side to side. You may even feel like standing up, but just allowing this energy of creation to move through your body. The energy of everything you've got on that page, letting it, feeling it in your body. And trusting however you're feeling called to move, whether that is a gentle sway or a big dance or a big stomp or a big jump. Trusting however your body wants to bring that in and integrate this energy. That's right. Allowing it to move through you. Beautiful. Now just taking a big breath in here. Coming back into your body. One hand now on your heart. The other hand on your womb. Just feeling yourself. Feeling your magic. And now you move with this energy. This is the new beginning, not someday, but now. And you choose to give this momentum to work for the life you do want, to lean in, to make it fucking happen, show up, to go against the habit, to go against the grain so that you can create what you deserve. And taking a nice, slow and deep breath in here. Allowing yourself to feel gratitude for showing up for this practice. And exhale. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. Beautiful. You may even feel drawn to putting your hands back on your page. I want you to just really trust whatever you're feeling right now. You might feel drawn to stay holding onto your heart or to move. Just trusting whatever feels good for you. You've done the first part. The awareness, the creation is the first step. And now show up for it. Show up for it. Those of you catching the recording, thank you for showing up for yourselves. As always, you are welcome to share in our group anything that you have discovered during this evening's webinar. And I will finish the recording for those on the live. You are welcome to stay on.